Good morning and welcome to our Remembrance Day ceremony at Jasper Place High School. My name is Zim.
Mine is Avery.
And I'm Megan.
We will be your hosts for today.
We will be joined by some students from Mr. Lewis's French class.
A student once said, Remembrance Day is not about celebrating or glorifying war, as some may argue. If only we would learn the lessons of the past, we would see that commemorating Remembrance Day is for peace, not glory.
Today, November 11th, we gather to remember the Canadians who served and continue to serve our community in times of war, conflict, and peace. We especially honor those who participated in the First and Second Wars, the Korean War, and all the subsequent conflicts where the members of the Canadian forces stood to protect freedom for us and for others.
Le jour de souvenir est un moment pour se rappeler des sacrifices faits par ceux qui ont combattu pour notre liberté. Remembrance Day is a day to remember the sacrifices made by those who fought for our freedom. Ils honorent des soldats qui ont servi notre pays et donné leur vie pour le faire. We honor the soldiers who served our country and gave their lives for our peace. C'est un journée pour réfléchir aux horreurs de la guerre et à l'importance de la paix. It is a day to reflect on the horrors of the war and the importance of peace.
Many of us have not had to make sacrifices for the freedoms we enjoy today. These freedoms were secured by those who came before us, who gave so much. It's our responsibility to remember the services and sacrifices of more than 1.5 million Canadian soldiers, sailors, aircrew, and merchant seamen. They gave their lives so that we can stand here today, pursue our education, build careers, and live freely. We owe them a debt that can never be repaid.
Today, we remember all those who sacrificed, the doctors and nurses who cared for the wounded, the parents who watched their children go to war, unable to protect them, the children who couldn't understand why their moms and dads wouldn't be home for Christmas, the young men who were sent to fight before they even had a chance at adulthood, and the kids who grew up too soon, taking care of their families amid the hardships of war. Because they lost so much and gave everything, we are forever grateful. We pledge to remember them and work towards a future shaped by their sacrifices.
As we gather here in peace and safety, we honor those who have fallen, the wounded, and all that have served in past conflicts. Today and every day, we remember who volunteered, served, sacrificed, and died for our freedom. We thank and we salute you. We will never forget.
I would now like to read a land acknowledgement written by Tahara. With respect and gratitude, I'd like to honor and acknowledge Treaty 6 territory and the traditional practices of the people that reside here. That includes the Dene, Cree, Nakota Sioux, and non-native people who have found a home here on Turtle Island. We acknowledge the hardships our ancestors went through to give us the privilege to experience what this territory is today. We express gratitude towards being able to continue our practice of traditional ceremonies, hunting on traditional land, but also being able to pursue education. This sacred land has generations of significant culture and provides us with the opportunity to showcase our way of life while also honoring what our ancestors have fought so hard for.
We stand for a national anthem performed by our concert band class.
We would now like to introduce Ms. Deja's ELL class. They have filmed statements of remembrance in their first languages.
لا ينبغي لنا أن ننسى تضحيات العديد من الأشخاص الذين ضحوا بأكاذيبهم من أجل أن نحظى بالعالم الذي نعيش فيه. اليوم كما ينبغي لنا أن نتذكر تضحيات أولئك الذين يواصلون اليوم النضال من أجل السلام.
Tapno saan tayo ang malipatan, dagiti sakripisyo dagiti adu a tao, nga nagpaay ka dagiti biyagda. Tapno adda ti lubong nga pag naedan tayo itatta. Kastoy met, uray pa'y sakripisyo dagiti agdama, kasapulan ang makigubat para itikapya.
Bunu hiçbir zaman unutma ki asil bir amaç uğruna dökülen kan asla kurumaz. Hiçbir zaman unutma bunu.
ما خصناش نساو تضحيات بزاف د الناس اللي ضحاو بحياتهم باش نبقاو حنا في هذا العالم اليوم، وكما اننا ما خصناش نساو الناس اللي مازال كيناضلوا على قبل سلامة هذا العالم اليوم.
ದಿನಂಬ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಬ್ಬಿಲ್ಲ ಬಾದಿ ಮನೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಜೀವಿತೆ ಪಡೆದ мінісонಗೆ ಆಗಿ кепекіріма бияге керу.
Аби ми не забули жертви багатьох людей, які борються за світ, у якому ми живемо сьогодні, також пам'ятаємо людей, які продовжують боротися за мир сьогодні. Кров, пролита для великої мети, не засихає.
我哋要記住嗰啲以往為和平所犧牲嘅人，千祈唔好唔記得佢哋係因為我哋而獻出呢個生命。
Abyśmy nie zapomnieli o ludziach, którzy walczyli o naszą przyszłość i ludziach, którzy walczą teraz o nasz pokój.
愿我们不要忘记那些为了我们现在所拥有的世界所做的牺牲，以及那些仍在为和平而奋斗的人们。
Nu cumva să uităm sacrificiilor moldovani care și-a dat viața pentru pacea astăzi, să trăim în lumea în care trăim astăzi, ne amintim de asemenea sacrificiilor care continuă să lupte pentru pacea astăzi.
Huwag nating kalimutan ang mga taong nagsakripisyo para sa maraming tao na nagbuwis ng buhay para magkaroon tayo ng mundong ginagalawan natin ngayon. Ngayon din dapat nating alahanin ang mga sakripisyo ng mga taong patuloy na lumalaban para sa kapayapaan.
No olvidemos los sacrificios de las muchas personas que dieron su vida para permitirnos tener el mundo en el que vivimos hoy. Recordemos también los sacrificios de quienes hoy siguen luchando por la paz.
Bugün sahip olduğumuz dünya için birçok insanın yapmış olduğu fedakarlıkları ve barış için mücadele edenlerin devam eden fedakarlıklarını unutmayın.
سلام به همگی. روز و یادبود فیلمبرداری. مبادا فداکاری های بسیاری را برای جهانی که امروز داریم، فداکاری های مستمر کسانی که برای صلح می جنگند فراموش کنیم. مبادا فداکاری های بسیاری از مردمی را که جهان خود را در فدا کردند تا به ما اجازه دهند دنیای امروز در آن زندگی کنیم را فراموش کنیم. خونریزی برای یک هدف شریف هرگز خشک نمی شود.
A group of students participated in a Remembrance Day ceremony at West Lawn Cemetery with other students from local junior high schools. Thanks, Ms. Longhart, for organizing this opportunity.
Thank you for being our Remembrance Day speaker today. Can you tell me your name, a little bit about yourself?
My name is Robert Stumper. I've been born and raised in Edmonton, spent most of my life in the Edmonton area. So high school, I actually am in a Japanese place a lot. So I graduated high school in 1976. So it's been around.
Yeah, and did you know from high school that you wanted to serve?
I did. I actually was a member of the 699 Jasper Place Air Cadets. So I was there, and I actually taught with 523 Shootout. And so I did some service with the Reserve Forces. Shortly afterwards, this with my home service battalion, logistics and supply, and a number of years service. And then my final service was with the 75th Battery Artillery Unit out of Red Deer.
And if guys would like to share for our students for Remembrance Day?
Remembrance Day can be a very emotional time. For a lot of people, a lot of veterans as well, because we do recognize that we have people who we have either lost in service or have given up so much, right? Because when you are serving your country, you don't know where you're going to be, and you don't know what's going to happen, and not all losses are physical loss of life. I mean, we've lost individuals as a result of things like PTSD or injuries, things like that, which can take a devastating toll on families as well as the individuals. So for me, remembrance is important to recognize the sacrifice that individuals have done. To remember, as I was saying in the group earlier, that to notice that the veterans have sacrificed their tomorrow so that we could have our today. And that's the important part, because they're no longer around. And so we should honor and respect the sacrifice they made for their country.
On the 11th hour, the 11th day of the 11th month, Canadians come together across the nation at cenotaphs and memorials in more than 2,000 communities to observe Remembrance Day. With hats off, heads bowed, and poppies worn, we stand in solemn remembrance of Canadian service members who have given their lives in wars and missions around the world.
This simple but powerful ceremony is an opportunity to honor their sacrifice. But what should Remembrance Day mean to each of us today?
Perhaps the most important thing to remember is many of those who died in service were not much older than you.
Some were even the same age, leaving high school and university to fly warplanes, storm beaches, and navigate the treacherous Atlantic. Many did not reach the age of 21. Their futures were as bright as yours today, yet they left behind the excitement of graduation and the warmth of home to serve.
For over a century, young Canadians have been drawn into conflicts that threaten their way of life. Thousands volunteered, joining the military as sailors, soldiers, and Air Force personnel. They understood the risks, yet they enlisted because they wanted to secure a future for themselves, their loved ones, and for Canada.
While most of us today only experience conflict through screens or news reports, Canadian service members have played vital roles around the world, in Afghanistan, in Yugoslavia, in Rwanda, during the Gulf War, and elsewhere, providing security and aiding in rebuilding efforts. Remembrance Day is our time to honor those who paid the ultimate price. It is also a moment to reflect on how we might respond if our way of life were threatened. We have the courage courage shown by past generations. Wearing the poppy is a simple yet meaningful gesture that helps us connect to those who left everything behind to serve.
Today, let us not only remember those who serve now, but also, above all, those who never return. Every Remembrance Day, we lay wreaths in respect to those who gave their lives in pursuit of peace and well-being. Here are some of our school's own, laying the wreaths in Muanag Square to show our schools respect and vow to remember.
1, 5 left, quick, march! Squad, right, wheel! Squad, halt! Seniors and seniors only! Left wheel by left, quick, march!
In Flanders fields where poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks still bravely singing fly. Scarce heard amid the guns below, we are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow. Loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you, from falling hands we throw the torch. Be yours, hold it high. If ye break faith with us who died, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
At Chester Place High School, we strive to prepare ourselves to play a role as a responsible member of a larger global community. Remembrance Day is just one way where we collectively look in our hearts and join together in hopes that the world will one day experience peace. It's also become a time for us, the young, to learn about the past and present and think about the changes we can make in the world. After all, it's all up to us.
We now ask that you stand for the performance of the last post, 2 minutes of silence and le verbe. S'il vous plaît, vous veuillez-vous lever pour l'entendre le dernier appel. Puis respecter 2 minutes de silence en hommage à ceux qui sont tombés au combat.
Et finalement, veuillez rester debout pour écouter le réveil et l'honneur de ceux qui ont servi.
En ce jour, nous n'oublions jamais le sacrifice des générations passées pour notre avenir. On this day, we will never forget the sacrifices of past generations for our future.
Merci de prendre le temps de vous souvenir et d'honorer ceux qui ont servi. Thank you for taking the time to remember and honor those who served.
Hello to our Jasper Place family. My name is Kim Bax. I'm your principal, and today we're spending some time talking about Remembrance Day. You know that in your past number of years being in school, every year there is some sort of Remembrance Day recognition or some sort of commemoration event, be it at school or in your community. And it is really important for us to think about, what does Remembrance Day mean? You may hear about the wars, you may hear about veterans, and there aren't too many veterans left living anymore to tell some of the stories of wartime or suffering or loss. And yet, we really need to look at, what does Remembrance Day mean to you? Because it is about freedom, and it is freedom of speech and freedom to learn, and the education that we have some choices about being able to go to school and what kind of courses we take, and forming your own thoughts and opinions, but also taking time to remember people who fought and gave up their lives so that we had freedom to choose. Really important things for us to think about. So in this Remembrance Day this year, think about what you can do. You can wear a poppy and wear it over your heart and know exactly how to respect that poppy. Think about how you could hear some stories or research about people who lived in war times and what that was like and what they went through, so that we had the ability to express some of the freedoms that we have today. Think of somebody you might thank or show gratitude to related to Canadian Legions, or even grandparents or great-grandparents, and talking to your family as to what their experiences may have been. Think about how you show respect for what we have available to us today, for all the sacrifices that were given. And even thanking some of our fellow students who are part of wearing uniforms and cadets and giving of their time to support freedoms that we don't even think about because it's something that we expect. Many of our students are headed over to No Stone Left Alone, where they're actually putting poppies on grave sites so that people are remembered for the sacrifices they gave. Think about this Remembrance Day, and be thankful for what we have to experience because of those who came before us and gave the ultimate sacrifice so that we can experience school and learning and freedom of speech and choice and so much that we have in front of us today, lest we forget.